Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we currently have a few repairs to do, and we're probably going to have to take the financial report here. So let's go ahead and do that. It's not like we're short on cash. We'll be absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever there.
Got a new financial report for you, Commander.
Excellent. Yep, this is completely okay, as expected. I don't see any reason to... Honestly, I think our repairs are fine. I don't think we need additional techs. So we'll just continue at 1.8 mil. That sounds good to me. So let's do that, and we're going to get our mechs repaired here very shortly. There we go. They're just about done. And shore leave requests, huh? Sure. Okay, Succubus is now athletic. Sure. Excellent. So all we need is the Mauler back, and there we go. Let's hop into the barracks, do any training that might be necessary.
Yes, Commander.
Look at that. Boot camp, maxed out. I like it. Point of tactics for brother. Anybody else? Is anybody else going to be maxed out? Well, a point of tactics for Panzer is always nice.
Standing by.
Commander.
Yes, Commander.
But no, no one else will be maxed out. A point of gunnery for Taboo is not bad, though. Let's double check the mech bay.
Nice to see you down here in the hole.
Everything is completely fine. As expected, we didn't think that there were going to be any issues, but I wanted to double check that one. We'll hop into the command center here, and we'll see what we want to take. I think that we want something rather difficult if we can. This is the most difficult thing here, but it's an attack and defend. That's going to be lengthy. Not really feeling a super lengthy mission right now, but look at this. Almost 3 million C-bills for a battle. And reasonable salvage to boot? Like, this alone, not counting expenses, will cover our full financial report. That's kind of nutty, right? Right down the middle is the place to be, too. Okay, so that sounds good to me. We are definitely going to deploy exactly what we had before. I'm still quite content with that. I do feel like the Madcap Mark II is in a better position than it was. I'm not hugely convinced by the HMGs, if I'm honest. But that was more of a weight constraint than anything. So we'll go ahead and deploy this. Yeah, the Awesome has some unused tonnage. Yeah, Darius is a complete and total imbecile. But, sure. Like, seriously, Darius. We are not 2.5 pip. Like, I don't know what you're thinking, bud, but that's not us. I can tell you that right now. Like, if we were actually doing 2.5 skull missions, we would be legitimately one-shotting everything in the mission and leaving on, like, round 2. Like, we need to not be doing that. That is exactly what we need not to do. But this nice 3 million C-bill mission should be interesting. It is only a 6 skull. I say only. 6 skull is that still the highest that we've done? Did we do a 6.5? I can't remember. But that's not relevant because this is a 3 million C-bill compensation 6 skull. One with actually decent salvage terms as well. So because the compensation is so high, I'm expecting this to at least be on the high end of 6 skull. And with RogueTech being so variable, this could honestly be comparable to like an 8 skull, for all we know. So we'll see what they've got. And I feel like we're in a good position to be able to take on almost anything that they do have. What is our weakness right now? Like, our weakness used to be heavy bombers. We can eliminate them very quickly now. Artillery used to be a substantial weakness for us, but now it kind of isn't. I mean, really the reason why artillery is difficult to handle is because it can hit anything at like any time, and it can go after your clusters, right? And do a lot of damage very quickly. The counterplay there is just spread out. Like, you don't even have to equip against artillery. We're using artillery, but that's because the AI is dumb. And artillery is useful at big armor shreds, too. So, really, I don't know what our weakness would be. But we need to destroy the Lyran forces. We can figure that out later. and give that a little bit of thought. Commander, we've got a priority target for you. An elite Lyran Lance has just been spotted by our orbital surveillance out in the open and without any local support. What's more, they've got significant damage from a previous battle? This is an opportunity for us to severely weaken opposition forces on this planet, but we have no forces in range to make the strike. We need you to engage and destroy this lance. I don't like the idea of jumping into a battle with this little preparation or intelligence, Commander. Be careful with this one. Indeed, we're expecting this to be a fairly challenging mission, and that briefing made it sound like our intel doesn't think it will be, but they're right about here. Okay. I mean, Darius has a bad feeling about this. That's cool, I guess. We're going to land somewhere over here, I think, in this cover. Or adjacent to this cover. We're definitely expecting reinforcements. Not our reinforcements. We're expecting the Lyrans to have reinforcements. Okay, so we see a Victor right here, facing away from us. We also see an Orion over here, side arc to us. And this is fascinating.
Commander.
Our Orion moves first. And we can get side arc. Or rather, rear arc on that Victor.
Roger.
Immediately. We also see a Catapult and a Marauder out there. We're going to Warlord, boost our hit odds on this Victor, as well as our clustering. We did hit with that Gauss rifle. And we actually just straight up one-shot the Victor.
Tango down.
Okay. So that's one dead Victor. Very simple there. We'll see what they decide to do. Their Catapult is probably the one to move here. Yeah, that's a C-21 variant. Okay, firing some splash damage LRMs. Not actually all that threatening. So our Salamander is going to sprint up over here. We do see a side arc, but it's an obstructed side arc. That's okay. We can still do a lot of damage to this Orion in theory. That said, our MRMs aren't great hit odds. It does have its 6 evasive, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, we got some armor shredded off of there. Not the biggest of deals. The Awesome can move in over here and can also see the side arc on the Orion. Hit odds are, again, pretty low here.
Got it, Commander.
And yeah, that's not shocking. So the Marauder is going to move up. It doesn't really get LOS here, I don't think. No, it doesn't. I'm going to reserve now, and I'm going to let this Orion move. I want to see what it does. And I want it to lose its 6 evasive. We just weren't going to get a flank on it. It fires indirect on our Salamander and misses everything. Okay. An interesting choice, to be sure.
I'm here.
Our Corsair is going to look for an LOS, but doesn't find one, so we're just going to sprint up the hill.
Standing by.
Our Bull Shark is going to step forward. Now, they're a little spread out for artillery, but I'm still going to fire on the Catapult C-21 here, because it's more centrally located, and if we miss, we may hit one of the others. Reasonably solid damage there.
I'm ready.
Okay, the Mauler is going to sprint forward. We're not going to bother firing the LRM-10 this round, I don't think. I don't think it's worthwhile.
Good to go.
The Boar's Head is, of course, going to step forward, and it is going to drop artillery on the C-21 as well.
Firing everything I've got.
Solid. I like it. That C-21 doesn't have very much left.
Commander.
The question is, where are their reinforcements?
Ready.
Surely they have reinforcements. We're going to sprint up the hill with our Madcat Mark II. It doesn't have LOS just yet. That's more like it. There's another Leopard inbound. Reinforcements. As expected. Didn't necessarily expect them to be right here, but we can play around that. That's not that big of a deal. We have this LOS block. We've got cover here. We're hoping that they walk a little forward here, actually. So they're continuing to fire their splash damage LRMs. That's unsurprising. And their catapult moved over to here.
Not much armor left in that location.
Just checking to see if we see any direct fire LOS here. The answer is no. We're going to sprint the Orion over to here for right now. And we're going to continue to fire on that C-21. Odds are low, but that's okay. Cool. The Marauder steps forward and gives us LOS. Firing on our Awesome, doing a little bit of armor damage, but our cover is helping out there. So that's great.
Receiving you.
The Salamander is going to position actually exactly where it's at. We're going to turn slightly, and we're going to fire on that Marauder. We could one-shot the Marauder here. I think it's a little unlikely, but it is a possibility. Yeah, we needed better clustering if we were going to one-shot it, but we did make it unsteady, and that Marauder is super dead. The enemy Orion closes in as well and gives us some decent LOS as well. It had a good clustering there, so we need to keep that in mind.
Ready for orders.
Okay, the Awesome is going to position actually pretty much where it's at, and we could fire on either of these, 64 and 64. Hit odds are literally identical between the two of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire on the Marauder since it has taken more damage.
Firing full complement on it.
And that may net us a knockdown there. A crit on the UAC-5C. I like it. That is indeed a knockdown. And it takes some rear arc damage, as expected. Now, the Madcap Mark II is going to close in over here. We are going to go for, I think, the kill on the Marauder here. Honestly, though, I would rather go for the Orion. And the reason for that is because I think the kill to the Marauder happens no matter what. Whereas this damage to the Orion doesn't necessarily happen no matter what. LRM-20 crit there, not bad.
Commander.
Yes, Commander.
Now, the Bull Shark is going to step up here,
Moving to position.
and we're going to drop artillery once again on the catapult. We're hoping that the splash damage eliminates the Marauder. That's the goal here. That catapult can't have a lot of armor left. That's the Marauder ejecting. Perfect. So the Corsair is going to move up over here. We are keeping in mind this hostile drop zone over here. This is side arc, and these guys are fairly exposed, so we're going to vigilance the Corsair for right now. And then we're going to fire on the Orion. A little bit of internal damage there, but not really too much. We did get some good damage into the armor there. We're going to continue to artillery strike this catapult. It has very little armor left in a lot of these locations.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Those artillery did not do very much good there, in all honesty, but that is a knockdown on that catapult. Okay.
Yes, Commander.
So the Mauler is going to close in over here. Its primary goal, eliminate the Orion.
Confirmed.
Solid damage there. We had an explosion containment. That Orion is knocked down, but it is not dead. Now, we're going to have to deal with these two, as well as the reinforcement lance. That's okay. Here comes the reinforcements, and let's see what they've got. Mercenary Commander, you've just made a serious mistake. That's ominous. Okay. Reinforcement lance. Cool. They are facing the wrong direction. We see an Orion, a Warhammer 2C, and a Marauder 2, and there's something else here as well. A Catapult 2. Okay. The Corsair is going to move in over here. Now, who are we going to shoot at? The answer is whoever we have the best hit odds on, and that is the Warhammer 2C. We're going to Warlord that. Boost those hit odds a little bit.
Here we go.
Oof. We had decent hit odds there, but that was a pretty poor roll, in all honesty. The Catapult C-21 is what gets up over here. Interesting. Very early in the phase for getting up. And then it backs off a little bit and fires on our Madcap Mark II. Okay, it's still doing that splash damage. That's fine.
Minimal damage on that hit.
Okay, next
Minor
up.
damage, Commander. I'm sure
That is our Orion. The Orion does get a rear arc LOS here. And we'll take it. So the Orion moves up to here. And I would love to Warlord. That's not an option right now. We can fire on the Orion Protector or the Catapult 2. The Orion Protector has much better hit odds, actually. And so we shall.
Giving this everything I've got.
Okay, very laggy during that, but we got some damage out. Fantastic. I think we also stray shot the Catapult 2, maybe? No, I'm not sure what we stray shot there. The Orion Protector moves up. Doesn't fire.
Commander.
So, our Salamander is going to move in here. And we're going to hit the Catapult 2. That's the only one we really can hit. Although hit odds are much better on that Orion. Maybe we shred armor off of that. That said, if we get good luck, we could destroy the Catapult 2 with just this shot. But these odds aren't great, and that's because of its stealth field generator. We'll try it and see what happens. That's about what I expected. Okay.
Heat gauge is redlining.
So the Orion gets up. And we'll see what it does. Moves through the fire a bit. Shoots at our Orion, does very little, in all honesty. Sounds good. Next up is going to be our Awesome. Our Awesome is going to step in over here. Now, we are running low in terms of heat capacity, but we can fire on any of these. The hit odds are best on the Warhammer 2C. So we're going to have to, I think, not fire the heavy PPC or not fire the improved heavy laser, perhaps. Yeah, we'll do it this way. We'll not fire the ER medium laser either.
Target lock on enemy 6.
Okay, we got some decent crits there.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
Not quite the crits I was hoping for, but it'll do. So phase 15, the Catapult 2 turns around and does not fire, fascinatingly.
Waiting for orders.
Our Madcap Mark II is not really in a great position here to take advantage of much of anything. I think we're going to send it up to deal with these two remaining mechs. So we're going to send the Madcap Mark II up to here. And we're going to fire on that Orion. We're not going to fire our medium lasers here for sure. Yeah, this'll do. We're hoping to see that Orion die here. Maybe a bit of a long shot, though. Although it does die due to an LBX-10 cluster ammo explosion. I like it. Okay, so at this point, this guy, the Marauder 2, is going to move. Also does not fire.
Commander,
Fascinating. The Bull Shark is going to step back over here.
copy that.
However, these guys are in minimum range of the Long Tom, so we're going to have to fire the Long Tom at either the Warhammer 2C or the Marauder 2. We're going to choose the Warhammer 2C here because we may be able to kill it through the rear arc.
Target lock on enemy's rear.
That's a lot more damage, but it's not a kill.
Scored a critical hit.
And at this point, the Warhammer 2C is going to move, but that's okay. We can still target its rear arc with our artillery.
Commander.
The Mauler is going to move up over this direction.
Move order received.
And I would love to fire on that catapult, but hit odds are much better on the Orion. So I guess we'll do that. But we need to be cognizant about our heat, so we'll just do
Target acquired.
this. A little bit of damage into the Orion, but not too much.
Good to go.
The Boar's Head at this point is obviously going to be firing on these guys. If we were to... No. If we were to move up over to the direct fire position up here, is this in range? No, but it is in range of the Marauder 2. Okay, so that's neat. We're going to position here, and we're going to Warlord this. We're going to fire these in direct fire mode. Not the greatest of hits that we've ever seen, but it'll do. New contact, Leopard class, Lyran markings. Okay. So there's another one coming in over here.
Yes.
That's interesting. The Orion is going to close in over this way a little bit. We need to be cognizant of our LRMs, though. If we were to move simply to here, that would be obstructed LOS. We could move here and go for the Marauder 2. That'll work. Now, the Marauder 2 has some cover there, but that's okay. We'll chunk through its armor pretty heavily. Excellent. It is now unsteady.
Good to go.
Our Salamander is going to move in here, and we want it to go for that catapult too. Now, heat is becoming a concern for the Salamander, but this is fine. We'll Warlord to boost the odds a little bit. In fact, quite a bit.
Here we go.
This AMS was not very effective there.
Watch my heat. I'm taking damage.
Cool. The Awesome is going to close in over here.
Position confirmed.
We could fire on any of these, and honestly, I want to hit the catapult here. Fire at something like this. We'll Warlord, boost those odds a bit. This is going to be side arc, because this is weak arc. This is a strong arc. Okay, that's not ideal, but it'll do.
Roger that.
Sadly, that wasn't very good.
Heat sinks can't vent fast enough.
Now, the Boar's
Taking
Head
damage.
is going to back off here slightly. To like here.
Coordinates
And we're going to
received.
fire once again on the Marauder 2. Pretty decent damage there, all things considered. Oh, the catapult ejected. I like it. So this catapult is, of course, still up here. And firing on us. Okay. Not doing a whole lot. That third lance, though, that is going to be interesting.
Not much armor left.
Mostly because it's going to be dropping in our rear
Oh,
arc.
they don't like me at all.
So the Bull Shark is going
Major
to
armor loss.
position out over here.
Confirmed.
And we're going to fire on the Orion here.
Confirmed.
Excellent. We need to shred these guys down very quickly.
Losing armor.
And actually, that's perfect. The Orion's out of here. At this point, the Warhammer 2C is going to move. It could move in and melee are awesome. That's very rude.
They've blown past my armor.
Very rude indeed. Running the heavy lasers. Okay.
Standing by.
So the Corsair is going to move in over this way. It can fire on either of these. And we're going to choose the better hit odds, which is the Marauder 2.
Aye, aye. Engaging target.
Quite a lot of internal damage there. Okay. We got a head hit as well.
Scored a critical hit. I'm generating.
The Madcat Mark II is going to move in over this way. We can fire on either of these. I think we go for the Marauder 2 here. Reason being, I think we can get into the rear arc of the Warhammer 2 with the Awesome, and I think that'll be fine. So there's the Marauder 2 gone. Excellent.
Target eliminated. Orders?
At this point, the Mauler is going to step back here. We're going to fire on the Warhammer just because we don't want it to exist anymore. So we're going to do that, see if we can work down its armor a little bit, make it a little unsteady. That'll work. Excellent. So here comes that other lance. Another Lyran lance on the field. It is getting awfully crowded, that is true. We immediately note that there is an Ifrit over there. We also see an Ajax Prime. Nothing else so far,
Receiving you.
but we should absolutely assume that it exists. The Orion is going to
On my
move up
way.
to here. Ah, yes. An Alicorn and a Plainsman. Okay, so we're going to fire on that Ifrit. We are expecting that it has AMS. And indeed it does. We managed to hit it with a few missiles there, though, and that's great. Phase 23, this guy moves in 15, so that's good. The Ifrit moves up, doesn't fire. That is huge.
Yes, Commander.
The Madcat Mark II is going to turn around.
Acknowledged.
We are exposing our rear arc to this Warhammer 2C, so we'll have to have a plan for dealing with the Warhammer 2C. We need to fire on that Ifrit, and hit odds are kind of awkward at this range, but we'll see what we can get. Once again, we're trying to overwhelm the AMS here. Okay.
Awaiting orders.
The Bull Shark is going to move up over this way.
Move order confirmed.
We're going to fire on the Ifrit in flak mode if we're in range, and we are. Do it.
We'll go.
Excellent.
Let's do this.
Okay, the Salamander is going to move in over here.
Coordinates received.
We need this Warhammer gone, and the Salamander is going to help with that.
Engaging target.
That's a lot of damage.
Reporting. I am out.
And a
of
knockdown?
LRMs.
Excellent.
Over the
Okay.
red line. Heat
Now then.
damage.
The Awesome can't really do too much from this position, but we can back off to
On the
here,
way.
and we can go for the kill. This should very, very easily be the kill.
Acknowledged.
There. Problem solved with that one.
Reporting enemy battle mech down.
Excellent. Now then. They've got their catapult over there still. That still needs to die. Goes for our Orion. We're okay with this. It's barely touching us, in all honesty. The Plainsman moves up. It doesn't do anything of note.
I'm here.
The Corsair is going to turn around.
Understood.
And we're honestly just going to brace. Hit odds aren't worth firing that.
Waiting for
The
orders.
Boar's Head, on the other hand, is going to turn around, and we're going to fire in flak mode on the Ifrit. This should be a kill.
All weapons are go.
Excellent.
Enemy down.
So there goes the Ifrit. They, of course, have that Plainsman, Alicorn, and Ajax over there. The Alicorn backs off a bit, does not fire. The Ajax backs off a bit, also does not
Ready for
fire.
orders.
So our Mauler is going to start closing in over here. For now, we're just going to sink heat. Okay. So now, of course, we can turn on these guys over here.
Got it, Commander.
Let's see what the Awesome can do to this catapult. 30%. You know what? We'll take it.
Got it, Commander.
Cool. We want this catapult gone fairly quickly here.
Ready for
So
orders.
the Orion is... Can we actually get into LOS here? Yes, we can.
Hauling
The
ass.
Orion moves up. We're going to finish this catapult. It's going to be gone.
Roger that.
There we go.
Boom. All primary targets have been destroyed.
Primary targets are down, but, I mean, we're going to kill these guys.
Standing
Our
by.
Salamander needs to turn around and sink heat, and so it shall. Okay, so long-range fighters here. We've got our Mad Cat. That's not exactly long-range anymore. We're going to close in and sink heat. And let's see what they decide to do here. We'd love it if they'd take up a position on this ridge. I mean, we can go for that Plainsman. That's not a problem. Cool.
Orders.
So our Mauler is going to close in on that. And we have some pretty good odds here.
Engaging.
And it's just straight up dead. Beautiful.
Target eliminated.
Now then,
aye.
the Bull Shark is going to step in over here.
On the
Are they
move.
close enough to have artillery dropped on them? They absolutely are for splash damage. That is excellent.
Got the angle. Taking the shot.
So that is a solid amount of artillery damage there.
Commander?
And the Boar's Head is going to do exactly the
Right,
same
Commander.
thing. Although maybe on the Ajax this time. Of course, we need to fire this in artillery mode.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Good chunks of damage into their armor. And we'll see what they think about that.
Standing by.
Our Corsair is, of course, going to close up over this way and start making for the evac point. But let's see what they do here. They move further away. Rude. Very rude. They're just withdrawing at this point. Okay.
I'm receiving you.
Well, the Awesome is going to sprint on forward.
Acknowledge.
We'll check to see what our LRMs have the better chance on. It's exactly the same, so we'll fire on the Alicorn.
Firing at enemy 6.
Cool. Little bit of damage in there.
Commander.
The Orion is going to step forward and do
that.
exactly the same thing. 30% and 37.
Firing at enemy 6.
That was a pretty good amount of damage there, actually. I'm pretty happy with that.
Waiting for order.
Our Salamander, of course, there's not too much it can do. Doesn't have LOS.
Waiting
The
for
Boar's
order.
Head, however, there's plenty that it can do. 25.4 and exactly the same. Okay. So we're overheat alerting here, but it doesn't matter.
All weapons are go.
Got some additional damage in there, but that was not the finest of shooting. Okay, so they're going to continue to move away. We're going to reserve and see if they stack together again. And they kind of do.
Yes,
Cool.
Commander.
So the Bull Shark is going to step on up. And literally the same. We'll go for the Ajax
Firing
here.
at enemy 6.
Excellent.
I'm here.
The Corsair is, of course, not very useful in this fight at this point. It was very useful earlier, but not so useful now. The Madcat Mark II, same boat.
Confirm.
We're just going to head around over here, see if we can get to this road anytime soon.
Waiting for orders.
The Mauler is going to move up and sink his heat. Okay.
Orders.
Next up, of course, the Orion is going to step in over here.
Roger
We'll check
that.
our hit odds. 37 and 50. 50 it is.
Target locked on enemy 6.
Good armor damage there.
Yes, Commander.
The Awesome will close in.
Location confirmed.
And 29 versus 23. Can we boost this? We're running low on LRM 20s in the Awesome. So that is now 32 versus 26. Okay.
Firing on rear arc.
They've got to be running low on their armor in the rear arc.
Commander.
Madcat Mark II is going to make its way onto the road. And let's see what they do. They can't really continue going forward here. They just stack together again.
Commander.
Cool. So the Bull Shark is going to stay where it's at, and we're going to drop artillery on whatever the higher hit odds are. 44%. Okay, so we're better off on the Ajax here. We'll even Warlord it, boost
Rear
those a
armor it is.
bit. I don't know if that Warlord went off. I feel like it didn't, but I guess we'll find out later. Okay.
Yes.
The Salamander, of course, not very useful in its current
On it.
position. Okay.
Aye, aye.
Corsair, same story there. I feel like I told it to sprint, but okay.
Good to go.
The Boar's Head will step on forward,
On my way.
and we're going to drop additional artillery into the Ajax. This time we're not going to fire the LRMs because of heat.
Here it comes.
Ooh, that wasn't a great hit. That was a good hit, though.
I'm ready.
Okay, the Mauler is going to sprint down over this way. Kind of long range for the LRM 10s, so we're not going to bother. And let's see what they do here in round 12. Nothing. No movement at all. I love it. That's fantastic. So, who are we moving? We're moving the Orion? Sure. We're going to move on up.
Confirmed.
We're going to Warlord this. And 50% versus 63. Ajax it
One in the
is.
back.
It can't have much armor left back there.
Standing by.
The Corsair is sprinting down towards the road.
All right. Full speed.
Cool. And we're going to, of
Standing
course,
by.
have the Madcat Mark II continue to head down the road.
On it.
Okay, what do they do here? Nothing.
Commander?
An interesting choice for sure. This is the last round of missiles for the Awesome, and we're going to fire them at the Ajax, I think. Actually, we have much higher hit odds on the Alicorn,
Rear armor it is.
so that's what we'll do. We actually penetrated the armor on the Alicorn,
I'm out
which
of
means it
long-range
probably dies to
Aye, aye.
artillery here. Excellent. So we're going to fire on the Ajax.
Target lock on enemy's rear.
That was not a great long tom shot, if I'm honest. Or a great LRM shot.
Out of LRMs.
Okay, what do they do? Do they not move? They haven't been moving, but the Ajax does move away. Okay.
Receiving you.
The Salamander is, of course, going to sprint down over this way.
Roger.
Next up is the
Commander?
Boar's Head. Sadly, they're a little bit split up, but we're going to go for the Alicorn here to eliminate it. This should definitely do the
Everything
trick.
I've got.
There we go. And there can't be all that much armor left on
That's
this
a kill.
guy. There just can't be. On the Ajax? Yeah, he's got like 39 rear armor right
Ready for
now.
orders.
So the Mauler is going to close in here.
Acknowledge.
What are our hit odds on that LRM 10? 15%? Yeah, not worth it. Okay. Next round.
Orders.
The Awesome is, of course, out of LRMs, so it's going to start sprinting over
On
towards the
move.
road.
Full speed.
Next up
Waiting
is the
for orders.
Orion, which is not out of LRMs. It
Moving
has
to position.
plenty, and we're going to lob those at the Ajax.
Target
This
lock
could
on
easily kill the Ajax. It did not, but the armor is incredibly low now.
Receiving you.
So the Madcat Mark II is going to sprint around here. It can't quite get LOS, but it's getting close.
Good to go.
The Salamander, of course, is going to head up over
Let's
this way as
move.
well. Nothing to be done there, really. But
Standing by.
the Mauler can close in a
Moving
bit,
Position.
and now we're going to fire the LRM-10.
Locked on rear armor.
Smattering more damage there. Let's see what they do. Anything? They just back off further. Okay.
Waiting for
That's all
orders.
they're doing is just running away,
Moving to position.
delaying us. Very rude, but the
All
Boar's Head
in
is firing its
cargo.
last round of artillery here, and this could easily kill. There we go. No problem.
Gotcha. I've got.
Let's get out of here.
Mission successful.
So even with the 2 bonus lances, that really wasn't all that difficult. The only thing that was a little bit sketchy was the Warhammer getting that flank on our Salamander. It turned out okay. That could have gone poorly, though, for us. Luckily, we do have additional MRM-40s in stock. Or, well, I think we have 1 additional MRM-40 in stock. So that's a thing. And overall, we didn't take all that much damage. It could have gone far worse than it did. It could have gone much, much worse. Do we care about the Ajax parts? Probably not. We probably only take the Ifrit parts here, considering those tend to be what's valuable. Just going to take a quick perusal here. Dual MRM-40s. We do have 1. I think we're just going to roulette those. Yeah, I think that's fine. So we got 2 engine heatsink plus 2s. We'll keep that around for sure. The standard heatsink cooling we'll get rid of. Generic LRM ammo, FTL LRM ammo. Ooh, AX MRM ammo. That we're going to keep around. That's cool. I like that. -1 accuracy, but 65% armor damage. Like, that would be so good when we're taking those big MRM broadsides into a fully armored target. That would be so good. So good. So that's definitely something we want to consider putting onto our mechs. It is, however, well past time to put a cut in here, so once we know what our repairs are going to cost, I will go ahead and do that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and let's see what I was going to say what Darius is going to say. this is going to cost to repair, but we don't care what Darius is going to say. Let's see what Yang has to say about this. I'm guessing like 200k? 150. Sounds good. Fantastic. I will see you all next time.